Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Rosie here. So I don't know if y'all remember, but okay, listen to me. Hear me out, guys. Through all the bitching about the HUD and how bad the new UI is, and how bad all that shit is, and all the fucking things they screwed up with this patch and the maps, Clown received some changes yesterday. Yeah, I know you guys might have forgotten already, but Clown was buffed yesterday. Yesterday was the big fucking Clown rework we were supposed to fucking get. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? I mean, a lot of the survivors were wondering where he is. I was on the social media, and they were all like, "Bro, where are all the clowns at? Why isn't Clown just got buffed, guys? How come no one's playing him?" Oh, yeah, you guys want to know why no one's playing him? Let's go into why no one's playing him, bro. Okay, so listen up. His big change is that he can press a button to get the gas that he throws on the ground, runs through, and then he gets 10% more movement speed. Oh, you can run through it too, by the way, survivors, and get 10% more movement speed. You can do that as well. So that's his big change, ladies and gentlemen. You can throw a bottle, run through it, and get three seconds of invigorated, and 10% more movement speed. That's his big change. What? You don't understand why people aren't using that? Like, that's his big change, bro. Like, well, it turns out when the change fucking sucks, nobody's touching him. Okay, so needless to say, I am not very happy with this change. Okay, so I'm sure I'm about to trigger some people and press some buttons, but I don't care. This is what we do here. This change fucking blows. Okay, you have to look at it from this way. If you understand my reasoning and my perspective here, you're gonna fucking understand why this is very disappointing. First of all, this is something that we've been fighting for a long time. That's the first thing you gotta keep in mind. We've been fighting for this forever, trying to get Olmo to see our point, try to make him understand why this character fucking blows. We've been trying to make this happen for like what, since he came out? We've been trying to make this happen for years. So that's the first thing you gotta keep in mind. This is years and years of like trying to make the devs hear us about this. And so then they finally say it's coming. Okay, so we won. Okay? He said where he's getting his big change and his big rework. Okay, let's talk about the other characters. Because, like, if this was the first rework, it might have been cute. It was like, wow, Clown got something new. Like, if this was the first rework, it might have been cute. However, this is the fourth rework, ladies and gentlemen. That means you have something to compare it to. And what do we have to compare it to, ladies and gentlemen? We have to compare it to Bubba, Doctor, and Freddy. You could say Hillbilly, Nurse as well. Hillbilly and maybe Nurse, but like, those were nerfs. This is a buff. You have to compare, this is the fourth big buff that they've done for a character. Okay? So, you have something to compare it to. Okay? And will anybody sit here and seriously tell me and defend the notion that Clown was given the same care and attention that Bubba, Freddy, and Doctor got in their reworks? Is anyone going to sit there and seriously try to tell me that? Of course not. This rework blows. Like think about what the other characters got. Doctor got a whole new ability in Static Blast, and his fucking chase mechanics were really smoothened out, making his anti-looping so much more reliable. Freddy got fucking snares and a teleportation. Freddy got like 3 new powers when he got reworked, and Bubba's power was buffed to the point of utter insanity, where he became a fucking, like, A tier. Like, Bubba went from, like, C to A tier, Freddy went from F to A tier, and Doctor went from, like, B minus to A tier. Like, the 3 buffs that we've gotten have made the other 3 characters go from, like, towards the bottom of the tier list to fucking A tier. Where'd Clown go? How much he be jumping up the tier list? He ain't jumping much because he likes food too much, but how much he jumping up the tier list? I've asked that question in chat. A few of us got into it. I'm like, who is Clown better than today than he wasn't better than yesterday? Okay? No matter what you think about Clown. Okay, so I had him at the worst character in the game. That puts him at better than Plague, Demo, and then the other 2 suggestions I got that I kind of agree with were Myers and Trapper. So, Clown is better than fucking 4 characters max that he wasn't better than yesterday. Those other characters were like better than over half the roster when they got their reworks in. Like, how can you not understand my disappointment here and my frustration here? Like, this rework is fucking useless. He's the same character. He's the same character, and they made his reload time go down. Yeah, big whippy shit, you have to reload more now. you're spending more of the match overall reloading now than you were last time, before his change. So, like, that reload fucking change doesn't do anything for him. They should have given him, like, 10 more bottles and the reload change. Like, how do you not see how 4 bottles plus an add-on slot to make 2 more happen is just not worth it? Like, that's not, like, that. Like, they buffed him with limitations in mind. So, like, we didn't really win anything here, because Almost still won. Almost still said he's overrated, he's underrated, we're not gonna give him very much. Like that, the dev mentality still won. This wasn't a change. This is not, like, this wasn't a good change, guys. Like, how are you remotely satisfied with this? Like, this buff should have taken him from the bottom. Like, if they actually cared about this character, like, you cannot tell me they care. Because if they actually cared, they would have fucking been like, okay, we need to give him a good buff here. And you know what? I would have rather them said something in the Q&As to be like, guys, we understand that Clown is bad. We know he's bad. We understand. However, we don't know the right change to give him yet. And like, I would rather them have said that and then took maybe 6 months to ponder it than rush something like this into the game. Because this power feels like a first fucking draft. This power feels like a first fucking draft of part of the new ability, rather than the entire fucking thing. Where it's like, okay, the survivors don't really need to get it. And then it plays well, but it plays wonky too. Like, the white gas doesn't give him anything, so that extremely limits the amount of Invigorator you can actually get. It's like, if you're at a weird spot, invigorating yourself just isn't an option. Don't tell me you have to have skill to pull it off. It's at some portions, like, if you're at the Killer Shack, and then there's like a rock in front of you, you can't like throw an invigorated bottle to invigorate yourself, and then keep going. If anything, the invigorated bottle should be, like, invigorating yourself should be tied to the pink bottle. If anything, if you're going to use invigorated. But that's, because it's clunky to swap between, it's not a good change, bruh. It's clunky. Again, if anything, this feels like a partial draft of a partial power. Like, he should have 4 types of bottles. Like one that, like, causes debuffs, and one that causes debuffs in an area for, like, I could sit here and spitball things they could have done all day long. Because the fact is that these people don't understand the Clown, and that's why they didn't buff him, bro. That's why they didn't give him effective buffs. They didn't take the time to understand what the problem was. Because you had a fucking game designer in Almo that was going, no, he's underrated, guys. He has untapped potential. This is something that I've wanted for a long time. And I've wanted to see the same result for him that he got. Like, how can you be satisfied with this? Oh, he's better than Plague now, bro. He's better than Myers. Good. He should be better than Myers, because Myers is trash. Like, they didn't do anything for him here. The movement speed is not enough to, like, justify wasting your fucking bottles, because by the time you get to somebody, you have to reload. Because you waste, like, 2 bottles moving around the map, and then you get to the guy, and then, oh, you gotta reload now, bro. It's just not, like, if he had 10 bottles, this might have been a start. If they buffed his, like, because they just really changed how he works. Like, he's got 10 bottles now, like, his reload takes 3 seconds, and he's got 10 bottles. Then you might have had something. But it's unnecessarily wonky. It's bad. This is a bad change. Okay? And that's where the disappointment comes in. Because you have something to compare it to in the other 3 reworks that single-handedly revitalized their characters and have made them super good. So it's just extremely frustrating that this was just so useless and didn't do anything for them. Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here. I hope you understand my point. I would have rather them have fucking waited and gave him a change that meant something, rather than rushing something uninspired in the game that's not going to do anything for him, that nobody cared about on the dev team. Nobody on the dev team cared about this. This was something that they did because they were pressured by a fucking community to do so. And that's my fucking point. We didn't win anything with this. I don't feel listened to. I don't feel like my concerns and my complaints about the character were taken into consideration when they fucking did this. It's trash and it's uninspired. And if you don't fucking, like, accept that and you don't slam the devs for this, you don't care about Clown and you don't care about the game. Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here now. GG's, boys. Hopefully they fucking buff this. It's